Hello internet, it's been a long time since I've done this type of video. So, reviews. Yeah, it's been a little too long, like a good 3 months, basically. I pulled, I guess some people would say, a JonTron and took a large hiatus from that. A pretty lengthy hiatus from that, but I'm going to try to get back into it now that come January 4th, all the wrestling content will be on my second channel. This channel you're going to see right now is mainly consists of movie reviews, game reviews, or this game, anything I can review that's based off a game, extra stuff, gameplay videos, all that will still be on here. All the wrestling stuff will be on the other channel. So, I spent the last couple months building this giant thing. Well, not really. I've just been spending the past several months trying to pretty much buy as much content as I possibly can to review. Some of this I have seen, some of it I haven't. So I guess we're just gonna start. It's quite a lot. It's pretty big. So we're gonna start off pretty smooth. We're gonna start off on a clean note. So we're starting off Finding Nemo. Yes, I found a Pixar movie, a Disney movie that's actually cheap and not $80. Oh gosh, $20. I got this for $4, which for Disney is incredible because Disney movies on DVD are super duper expensive for no reason, even though they've been on the shelves for years, and they still cost $20 a piece, which is ridiculous and greedy, and that makes me sick. So it's a miracle I've actually found this at an affordable price. But yes, this is one of my favorite Pixar movies, obviously. I remember when I was, I guess, like 5 or something like that. Like, I had to go to this place. I think my mom, there's like this place around my area where it's like a gym area, and so she had to put me like in the little kids area for obvious reasons. So I was there, and then they had Finding Nemo. I was like, can we play that? I think I did that multiple times, and I think that's how I got so attached to this movie, because it's really good. Very good, high quality, one Pixar's best. Yeah, can't wait to review it. And I might review the sequel, maybe, we'll see. So that's Finding Nemo. Now on the opposite side of the spectrum, Cars. Everyone's favorite Pixar movie. No, everyone's favorite trilogy. Clearly, Cars. A movie that raises way too many questions about how the world works. That I'll go through, when I review this, I'm going to go through all those questions. You probably know the type of questions I'm going to ask about this. Questions that really shouldn't be asked about any movie, let alone a kid's movie. But yes, this movie is very confusing. The world doesn't make much sense. And it's definitely Pixar's low point, without a shadow of a doubt. I'm not going to review Cars 2. I will never review Cars 2. I will never watch Cars 2. That movie doesn't exist to me. That movie is dead to me. I saw Cars 3, and I hated it because it was such a disappointment, because I was expecting a dark Pixar movie. I didn't get that, so I was upset. So overall, the Cars series, trash. Now, I know some people like the Cars series, and if you do, great. Have fun. Me, no. I think they're garbage. So next up, trying to find one that's still tame before we get to the interesting stuff. Here's one. I wanted to find this movie for so long. Even though it was like $10, I was like, I still have to get it at some point. That's Rugrats in Paris, the movie. Because I have the Rugrats movie, the original, and Rugrats Go Wild. I can't just live life without having this in the collection too. So yes, this is of course the mid-cool to those two movies. Like, it's in the middle. And out of all the movies, this is considered the best in terms of critical reception. Personally, Rugrats Go Wild is by far the worst movie. in the trilogy. Everyone knows that. But for me, it's kind of like a toss-up between the original and this as the best Rugrats movie. I mean, both have their good qualities, both have their qualities, but I still think this is a pretty decent movie if you're a Rugrats fanboy. You know, this and the original. Ignore Rugrats Go Wild. That was just a weird thing that shouldn't have been a movie. It should have been a TV special, but apparently they thought it would work well and it didn't. So I guess we're just, well, yeah, I don't know where I was going. But yes, Rugrats in Paris, still a solid movie. Can only imagine what 2020 will bring when we get that Rugrats reboot, that live action reboot, because as we've seen with Sonic, it's gonna work out great. Speaking of Go Wild, because you know, Rugrats Go Wild was a crossover between Rugrats and Wild Thornberrys, so it's a perfect segue to the Wild Thornberrys movie. I saw this and I was like, we might as well continue. We might as well go this route. And this is a pretty good movie. Actually, this Rugrats in Paris, Rugrats Go Wild, and the Rugrats movie, you can actually find them on YouTube. It's not a complete movie. It's like split up in different sections. But yeah, if you can find the whole playlist of the movie, all the clips and whatnot, and you can watch it. And obviously, it might not last for very long, so if you're going to do it, I suggest you do it quickly before YouTube and copyright, and you know, because we all know how Viacom and Paramount is with copyright. So I suggest if you're trying to watch these movies without paying for them, watch it on YouTube as fast as you can. It's going to be annoying going through a bunch of videos, but that's the best way you can do it. But yeah, this is still a pretty good movie, and I thought it would be nice to review. Okay, anything else? Anything else on the okay side? Well, okay, moving on. Oh god. Fat Albert. Everyone remembers this movie for some reason. For some reason, this movie was one of those childhood movies that I could never get out of my head, like Garfield, or Robots, or The Ant Bully. I don't know why this was, or Barnyard, or Open Season. There's too many. But this is, it's gonna be rough to talk about it because it has, you know, Mr. You know, I don't care if this gets demonetized. Mr. Rapist himself, Bill Cosby. That's gonna be a fun discussion because he actually has a part in this movie, so it's gonna be nearly impossible to talk about this movie without mentioning his name. And besides, the whole movie, it feels. I think I remember. It was on Twitter. It was like this Twitter account, Cursed Commercials. They showed like this. I was like, they actually made this. Like this isn't a joke. I remember one tweet about it was like, this feels like an SNL sketch, and I mean, it kind of does. Like, because the thing about it is, it starts off in animation, and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. But then they go into live action, and it's like, what is this? Oh, this is gonna be fun to review. Can't wait to do it. So that's Fat Albert. That's all the kids' movies. Well, I guess I have one more that's a semi-kids movie, or it was at least made to sell toys. And that is Batman Forever, aka the Batman film that started the downfall of Batman. The sequel, Batman Robin, killed the franchise for 8 long years. This was the starting point. This was the tipping point. And I mean, they made a lot of weird decisions. Of course, everyone knows about the Bat Nipples, that infamous costume. And of course, we have Jim Carrey as the Riddler, which some people kind of like. You know, Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. Some people... This whole movie feels way too campy, especially considering the original Batman movies from Tim Burton were so dark. I mean, not as dark as Christopher Nolan, but they were still... They were dark to an extent, but this movie went in a whole nother direction. Wanted to be all kid friendly, sell toys, just This was basically a giant toy commercial, and it worked. It made money, but that sequel didn't make as much money and was hated by everyone. So, oof. I mean, I already did Batman and Robin like a long time ago, like way over a year ago. So it would be interesting to, watch this now. All right, next up we have a James Bond movie. Since I already did Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace, and we might as well go to the movie that revitalized James Bond again. The most successful James Bond film of all time, bar none. Skyfall, which also had, everyone knows the song from Adele. That, how could you not have heard about it? Yes. Yeah, there's not much to say about it. It speaks for itself. It's Skyfall. It's the first and only James Bond movie to make $1 billion. It's Sony's most successful movie of all time. Still. And, I know that there's Spectre, which I will likely review as well, because I saw that in theaters. And I know there's a new James Bond movie, I think in 2020, I'm not sure. It's not going to be by Sony anymore. I think it's just going to be by MGM. I'm confused about that whole situation, but yeah, reviewing this should be fun. What else we got? Another good movie. The Social Network. Yeah, since Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg have been in such controversy in 2018, particularly Mark Zuckerberg. We all remember the memes about him. I thought it would be culturally relevant to talk about The Social Network, which stars, Jesse Eisenberg before he became Lex Luthor, and Andrew Garfield before he became Spider-Man. And it's really interesting to see this movie now, considering everything that's gone down with Facebook. But hey, even though the movie is considered to be somewhat inaccurate, even by Mark Zuckerberg himself, he said the movie isn't entirely accurate. I mean, what adaptation is accurate? Come on now. I heard it's still a really solid movie from David Fincher, so should be a good review there. What else we got? Oof. The Punisher. Now, I remember way long ago there was a comment where it was like, hey, can you get The Punisher Warzone? The lowest performing Marvel movie of all time. I couldn't find that, but this was the next best thing, The Punisher. This was the movie that had Kevin Nash as a Russian. I don't think I need to say anything after that. Oh yeah, and then also, it was where the Punisher, like his wife and daughter, they just got mowed down by the pack. I think got mowed down. It's pretty brutal, even though it didn't really show anything. And I think there was a video game based off this too, which was actually incredibly violent. It's actually one of the most violent video games I've ever seen, especially for a game with the Marvel license. So yeah, and this is R-rated, so Marvel was doing R-rated comic book movies long before Deadpool and Logan. So there's a little fact for you. That's Punisher. What else we got? Oh boy, a bad remake. I love these. The Day the Earth Stood Still, starring my boy Keanu Reeves, who will be in Toy Story 4. Yes, that's not a joke. And John Wick 3. So 2019 is going to be a big year for Keanu Reeves. I'm hoping in Toy Story 4 they at least reference a dog with his character. If they do, I will give that movie a 10 out of 10 automatically. But this was before the John Wick days, and this was like in his post-Matrix Constantine days, aka the depressed Keanu, the depressed Keanu phase. If you know your internet history, you know what I'm talking about. But yes, this movie's not very good. It's just a bunch of loud noise and just a hard to follow plot. Not many likable characters. It's just bad. Bad. Okay, we've almost reached the main event. We have 4 more to go. I know this has been going on forever. So this is a recent movie. Yes, I'm doing recent movies now. I'm not solely going into the past. I have Hereditary. I had to get this because since I've reviewed It Comes at Night, Mother, and The Witch, I was like, this would fit perfectly with the whole art house horror movies where they weren't made for the mainstream and they were hated by audiences, but critics loved them. But out of all of them, this is by far and away the most successful. So I guess audiences just didn't hate it as much, or maybe they got a kick out of it. But yes, I had to watch this. I haven't watched this yet. It's still unopened, so it would be nice to watch it and see if audiences were right to give it. I think it was like a D or a D plus cinema score it got, which is nothing when compared to Mother's F cinema score. So yeah, this should be a very, very intriguing watch. And yeah. Okay, the final 3. Oof. Now I know what you're gonna be thinking, Malik. Why would you buy these? Well, actually, let's go with the one that is the least bad, at least according to some people. It's very recent, super recent. Like this only came out like 2 months ago. But I saw it in the store and I was like, I have to review this because I was planning on doing a review of it 2 months ago when it was coming out, but plans fell through. I didn't have a chance to do it. It was way too late, so I was like, might as well wait for DVD. Saw it on DVD, bought it immediately. That's right, it's everyone's favorite meme, Denim. That was a horrible joke. Venom. Everyone knows this movie. This movie was incredibly successful. Made like $200 million in the States. Made well over $200 million in China. China loved this movie to death. I don't know why, but they just did. They embraced it for some reason. But yes, the movie that many people, although critics hate it, audiences liked it. Or at least they thought it was unintentionally hilarious. You know, basically my thoughts on it. So, Venom. This is going to be very fun to review, very fun to talk about in detail, and yeah, should be great. These final 2 are easily movies where you're going to be like, Malik, why would you make this purchase? What is wrong with you? Do you have no standards? Well, to be honest, no, I don't, and this proves it. This is 2 movies off of a trilogy. I haven't bought the 3rd one yet, but I have the first 2. And those movies are, I guess we might as well do a drum roll. The worst drum roll of all time. 50 Shades of Grey and 50 Shades Darker. Yes, I've sunk to this level to review these atrocities. You know, and I'll probably review these around Valentine's Day because if there's anything that revolves around love, it's a story that revolves around abuse, control, and very uncomfortable sex scenes. Like these movies, they try so hard to be like porn, but they can't because 1, if they were, they would never have gotten released anyway. 2, they spend so much time on talking, and you're just like, as a viewer, you're just like, come on, get to the sexy time, get to the good stuff. So this is gonna be a pain. This is gonna be a struggle. This is gonna be torture. But I don't care. I'm gonna do it for you because that's what a YouTuber does, apparently. So I'll review 50 Shades of Grey and 50 Shades Darker. If I can find 50 Shades Freed, I will review that as well. Maybe I'll review all these at once for Valentine's Day. I think that would be a pretty good idea. But that's pretty much it. Just a whole bunch of movies I bought the past couple months. Can't wait to review them all. Some of these I don't have to watch again because I've known them for years, but a lot of them I have to watch because I've never seen them before. List the 50 Shades movies. The most I've seen of them are the Honest Trailer videos, and CinemaSins. I mean, CinemaSins is a great way to watch a movie without spending like 2 hours on it. So they're useful for that. But I have to see these movies entirely to get the whole point. That is all. Hope you all enjoyed that. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, and also subscribe to the other channel that I have going. It won't be really active until January 4th, but if you don't mind, if you could just subscribe to that, I mean, that would be pretty cool. So yeah, that is all, and I am out.